So this year in October the 7th, my sobriety day, I'll be 25 years. And yeah, clean and sober. So it's coming up to longer I've been alive is the more I've been clean and sober longer than I've been you know what I mean? Yeah.
My brother Cyril started the Glen back in the early 90s. It's so peaceful here. And my brother always wanted to have and he said it more than once, a family atmosphere. They get the sense of family and togetherness when they're here.
As soon as you got into the wings, it was just welcoming. Anything you didn't have, the boys would hook you up. It was I can't help explain other than family. Can't put into words other than family.
It's the boys that make the Glen, the other clients, it's not just a place in Hull, it's learning to laugh again, because for a long time I didn't laugh, I didn't feel, the drugs just took all that away from me. But when you get to the Glen, you have those real, they say the belly laughs, you had the laughs and just the people, you felt love and everyone backs each other. That's what makes the Glen, 100%.
They're digging deep within your soul. To sit down with your mate, sit down and talk the deepest part of your life that you haven't even told your partner. You've kept things a secret. That's why we remain so close. There's some stuff that you just, I don't know, but your brother's in arms forever, because only you know what they go through. The stuff that I learnt there, the stuff that was instilled in me and I carry to this day, without the Glen, I wouldn't be the visible person that you see today. I might be existent, I might be non-existent, but I can guarantee you 100% I would not be the person I am today without the Glen.
The drug situation within families is getting worse, and it goes on to the children, right? The children see their parents using, right? So they think that's norm, and then that's another lost generation. With the women, the same as the men, they have to concentrate on getting themselves well. And we've proved that by the way that the Glen works. Right, they have time to concentrate on themselves without any other influences around.
Well, I think Cyril would just, in his glory, looking at what he is now.
The vision that Cyril had in the 80s to where it is today, this wouldn't have happened without committed staff, the committed, beautiful women on the board, taking the lead in all of this and now expanding to the Glen for women. I just can't say that, how excited Cyril would be, and also Vince, because it was their vision for this to grow, and what's happened, it's grown to exceed to what I guess they may have anticipated, 30 years ago.
The Glen for women and men, I'm telling you, if it wasn't for them, I would be still in addiction. And where I am today, I'm clean 17 months, and I have everything back in my life now that I never ever imagined. I wouldn't be going to my sister's birthday tomorrow. I'm going to see my family, and actually be present, and actually then be proud of me and want to see me.
I have my grandkids in my life, which I love very much, and I'm very close to my younger daughter, and my mum and my daughter are so proud, and my son are very proud of me, and it gives me joy not hearing that from them.
So today I am I'll be 3 years clean in June next year. I work full time, I work 2 jobs. I have my own house, I have my licence, I just bought a car. I have my son living next door, just everything's so different. I can't even fathom or think that my life used to be unmanageable when it was, and I wake up in the morning and I smile, and my life is so much better.
If someone's going through the addiction cycle, the Glen for men and the Glen for women would be the best place to get that recovery. Because being someone who's tried other places, this is the one that set my recovery in stone for me.
The Glen and family is a massive part of recovery. It's not just about the Glen, it's not just about the family, it's about all in one, mixing it all together. I used to always want connection with people, but it was always for other reasons, through drugs. But today I've got connections with brotherhood in recovery, and that's the best place to be. You know, like, they don't judge me, they say it the way it is, and it's just, yeah, I can't beat that stuff, you know, I can't do this alone. If I don't have my brothers in recovery, I don't have anyone, you know. That's just, yeah.
Every time I come back here, I feel awesome, and kind of reflect a little bit on my time here, and it gives me a chance to reflect on how far I've come since I've been here, and so I always like to, when I come back, to have a chat to the boys that are in here, and you know, it's all unfamiliar to them, and it's good when like they say, oh, so how are you going since you've left here? And I'm like, yeah, I'm still clean and all that. And they're like, oh, that's awesome to hear. Like that, I can see that it gives them some encouragement that it can be done, and that they can leave this place and stay clean and have a better life. And yeah, so it's always a really good feeling to come back to this place.
To see people evolve as both clients and then staff, and then off to bigger and better things, that's part of the journey of being involved in the Glen and watching blokes progress their way through. For these blokes, normal lives are extraordinary, and I'm the same way. And that's the beauty of the Glen, and that's the fascinating thing. Like, sort of where blokes turn around and can live normal, productive, meaningful lives and have meaning and purpose in their life is like so fulfilling.
Thinking about where I was prior to coming into the Glen to where I am now is, you know, I feel fortunate, I feel lucky, and I'm very grateful for that. But, you know, now as an employee and a staff member and a program manager, you know, I really get to see the change that it makes in people. And it's a beautiful experience to be, you know, a small or a big part of someone on that journey.
I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror before I come here, and I just hated everything about me, and today I love it, you know what I mean? I love working here. I love, there's nothing else I would rather do than work at the Glen.
I got asked the other day, who's Joe away from the Glen, you know? And because I've committed to this place for the last couple of years now, as you know, I sort of struggled with it. So I said, I really don't know, you know? The way I carry myself as a counsellor, the way I carry myself out in community is exactly the same way, you know? And it's all having the Glen at the forefront of my mind.
Got my truck license at the Glen. I never ever thought I'd drive a truck. Learnt manual at the Glen. Had no idea I'd even be able to do that. Just those are little things that the Glen have done for people that are so simple to the average person, but when you're in addiction or alcoholism, you feel like you're not good enough to do certain things, and that's just your head telling you that. And then you get into the Glen, and then all of a sudden you got your white card. You've got your barista card. I don't know what it may be, but those little small wins.
I remember Ed Daly always used to say to me, how he used to tell if he was running well is hugs and kisses off his children, and when I'm feeling good, my kids are all over me, playing with me and giving me hugs and kisses as well. And you know, that's just little things that I've taken from counsellors and stuff like that I've heard them say, and you know, it's beautiful that they're there to support us when we're at our worst, and you know, they've all been through the journey themselves. That's something that when I was going to rehab, I didn't want to have to go to a place where it was all textbook, you know, and I picked the right place, you know.
The good thing about the laughter around here, like, it's real belly laughs, like doing it without drugs and alcohol in your system. Like, I don't know, it just feels better. I come in here and I try to get the vibe upbeat, keep the boys smiling, keep the boys positive. Just love them back to life, like I was loved back to life when I came in, you know.
I met Cyril Hennessy when he was working with the probation service in Longjetty, and I was doing some short sessions supervision while I was studying. Then I came across Cyril again when I was working in Wyong Shire, when he and Colleen had kind of taken over the lease of the what's now the Glen. You know, the name of the Glen after his son who had passed away. You know, it was very important to him. He was big, he'd hug, he was a hugger. Yeah, no, he's a lovely person.
Well, he was a very pragmatic man, that's what I found. If he had an idea, he also had an idea about how he was going to make that real. And I remember I was doing a review of the Glen for its accreditation some years back, and in the list of programs they were providing was a cardiovascular education program, an exercise program. And I said to him, "Oh, show me this." And he pointed to the men playing touch football and said, "That's it over there." And I thought, well, how pragmatic is that?
And then Vince come on board with him in the early stages. Through the two of them and that, they seemed to get things done.
What I found with Vince, always had a joke for you, down to earth, and would get you excited about doing things, you know, the way he would explain things that he would want done around the Glen. There was a lot of respect on both sides. The clients had a lot of respect for Vince, and Vince also had a lot of respect for the clients. Didn't pull any punches with the clients, and I think that's what the clients liked about Vince. They knew where they stood with him, and yeah, he interacted really well with them.
We've always had discussions, being civil around it works for some patients, it doesn't work for others, and that's okay. And sometimes patients might come in 3 or 4 times before it actually works. But it's a process, and we know that when patients come through, the Glen actually cares about who they are and wants to help them, and we've always had that philosophy of caring and trying to get families back together, and I've always really enjoyed that part of the Glen.
He believed if you get these people clean, that they'll go back to their families and be better people, and also too he wanted them to reconnect with their culture and their mobs, and that was a great thing that he sort of really brought into this service.
Like when you've lost family and that to drugs, and you feel, you know, at least you've helped, you know, maybe stop some other family going through the same grief. You know, it feels really good.
I think it's extremely special. Obviously, you know, getting sober, you sort of develop a lot of this passion to want to give back. I think an area where I'm really passionate is helping young people, and that's probably because I guess I did have a bit of a challenging upbringing, you know, with out-of-home care and seeing a lot of domestic violence, drug and alcohol. I really feel that I've got a lot to give in that space. I think especially for young boys, that, you know, a lot of young boys don't always have a positive male role model. So I really try to take that opportunity to hopefully be one for some young fellas in the community.
When I was trying to give up the drugs myself, you'd always come straight back to doing the same thing. And what the Glen has taught me is changing them. What's them 3 things? People, places and things. So today, I don't go nowhere where I know that there's people that are involved in drugs. Yeah. Like, I will acknowledge them, but I don't associate with them.
The main thing for me is the Glen is based in culture, and I know as an Aboriginal man that with culture I have identity, and that's the major difference. This whole thing is based on me finding myself and being allowed to live as that person, not being told to be a certain type of person and do certain things. The overarching thing is I'm a proud Aboriginal man, and the Glen allows me to be that.
since I've been alive, I'm witnessing the 5th generation of alcoholism and drug addiction, which is horrendous. So I grew up with it, I was part of it and broke the chain, and I'm the only one in the family that's broken the chain. And when you get to see your grandchildren drinking and drugging, it's just dreadful. It's really bad.
We stand on the shoulders of giants. Those fellas, those strong men and women as well that came before us, they laid the foundation, they did the hard work, and I feel as though we get to reap the benefits from that now. So they were always in my thoughts, those old people. And you know, it's no secret I've had, you know, extended family members come through the Glen, and you know, my family's been forever changed through their recovery journeys, through my work here. My kids, my nieces and nephews love coming to this place because of the special place that it is, and I know that I'll be forever connected to this place too now. It's part of my story, part of my dreaming, and yeah, I'm very, very grateful.
Once a Glen boy, always a Glen boy.
Once a Glen boy, always a Glen boy.
Once a Glen boy,
always a Glen boy.
Once a Glen boy,
Always a Glen boy.
Once a Glen boy, always a Glen boy.
Once a Glen boy, always a Glen boy.
Once a Glen boy,
always a Glen boy.
Once a Glen boy, always a Glen boy. Once a Glen boy,
always a Glen boy. Once a Glen boy, always a Glen boy.
Once a Glen boy, always a Glen boy.